Good morning, viewers. Hello and welcome to the Morning News Show, where we bring you the latest headlines and insightful stories to kickstart your day. I'm Kohina Sharma and you're watching CNN News 18. Let's begin. First up, we are discussing India versus Canada. Now, the diplomatic standoff between India and Canada continues. After confiscating two properties of SFJ Chief Pannu on Saturday, the NIA has released a list of 19 other fugitives located in the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Pakistan, Dubai and Canada. Today, a mega protest is being planned by the Separatists in Canada as well. Now, they have threatened to shut down Indian diplomatic missions across Canada over the death of Niger. Now, local authorities in Surrey had requested the Gurdwaras to remove posters and banners that called for the assassination of Indian diplomats. Meanwhile, the Baloch Human Rights Council of Canada has written a letter to Canada's PM Justin Trudeau questioning him over the inaction on Karima Baloch's murder.
जी बिल्कुल होना चाहिए। ये आदमी बहुत ही नफरत फैलाने का काम करता है। ये जिस तरह से इन्होंने पिछले दिनों में भी खास तौर पर इसने एक इतना बड़ा हिंदू और सिख में भी एक खाई खोदने की कोशिश की और ऐसे आतंकी जो कि ISI जो हमारे सबसे बड़ी दुश्मन है। अगर मैं मानता हूं पंजाब का कोई सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन है, पंजाबियत का सबसे बड़ा दुश्मन है, तो वो पाकिस्तान और ISI है। हमारे बच्चों को नशत परोसते हैं, आतंक परोसते हैं, बेगुनाह लोगों को मरवाते हैं और ऐसे लोगों से पैसे लेकर अपने ही लोगों के खिलाफ साजिशें रचना, ऐसे आदमी की तो जब्त पहले से हो जानी चाहिए थी। अच्छा हुआ और भी कोई बची हो तो वो भी ढूंढ के जब्त करनी चाहिए।
I believe it's a very baseless information because India has never been involved in such activities. India has always condemned Pakistan-backed militancy. India is the one country which is victim of militancy. And India have been calling international community to define the definition of a terrorist. So far, no proper response have come. I think he must have been the target of one of these other militant Khalistani group because they have fights also among themselves.
देखिए, ये जो आरोप है एक तरह से ज़्यादा नया नहीं है क्योंकि कुछ दिनों पहले ही ये बात क्लियर हो गई थी। कनाडा ने खुद कहा था, शायद ट्रूडो ने ही, कि मैंने जो ये चार्ज लगाया इंडिया के ऊपर, ये केवल कैनेडियन इंटेलिजेंस ही नहीं, इसमें हमें एक आउट ऑफ द 5 आइज कंट्रीज़ की इंटेलिजेंस की भी मदद मिली है। तो 5 आइज ये 5 कंट्रीज़ हैं जो आपस में इंटेलिजेंस पूरी शेयर करती हैं, कनाडा, अमेरिका, इंग्लैंड, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, न्यूजीलैंड। तो इसका मतलब था कि इन चारों में से बाकी में से किसी ने इंटेलिजेंस शेयर करी। दावा डेफिनेटली ये बहुत ही बड़ा दावा है, बहुत सीरियस इस मैटर को बना देता है। देखिए, ये जो पांचों देश हैं ये आपस में फुल्ली कोऑपरेट करते हैं इंटेलिजेंस को लेकर। तो ये इन दोनों में से किसी एक ने शायद दी है ट्रूडो को इन्फॉर्मेशन। तो ये दावा चौंकाने वाला है, परेशान करने वाला है, सबके लिए परेशानी खड़ी कर देगा। ये
कनाडा की धरती पर कुछ ऐसे तत्व जो केवल मुट्ठी भर हैं, वो अलगाववाद की बात करते हैं। मैंने इस मंच से मांग की है कनाडा सरकार से कि वो उन अलगाववादी तत्वों पर अंकुश लगाए। और ये समय है, हमारे वहां जो भाई शांति प्रिय हैं, हिंदू भाई हैं, हमारे सिख भाई हैं, जो भारत की विचारधारा, बहुलतावादी संस्कृति की, वसुधैव कुटुंबकम की, उसमें विश्वास रखते हैं, हमारे विद्यार्थी वहां पढ़ रहे हैं, उनके साथ खड़े होने का समय है। लेकिन मैं कनाडा सरकार से कहना चाहूंगा कि कुछ मुट्ठी भर जो लोग माहौल बिगाड़ने का काम कर रहे हैं, उन पर जल्दी से अंकुश लगाए, उन पर कार्रवाई करे। भारत जो है सदैव शांति में विश्वास करता है, सद्भावना में विश्वास करता है। भारत पूरी दुनिया को एक परिवार के रूप में मानता है।
Well, CNN News 18's Ayushman Singh Jamwal spoke with a panel of guests about the pause and ties between India and Canada. Let's listen in.
When you see the state of diplomatic ties between the two countries, in your opinion, is this the extent to which ties can deteriorate between India and Canada, or do you think it could worsen further?
Actually, what Canada did came as a big surprise and shock to the Indian leadership, because India had been projecting G20 as a very successful gathering where all members of G7 and other countries. They were present here. We were able to get African Union included. There were some other agreements which were reached for setting up new communication lines, biofuels alliance. There was some feeling that perhaps the Canadian Prime Minister was not very happy with the way things were going for him and his delegation. But it was never felt that it would go to such an extent that he would immediately go back and then feel so unhappy that he would go to the parliament and, based on whatever alleged uh, talks by the Khalistani people, he would immediately say that, all right, please take out some of the senior most diplomat posted in the Indian embassy. So I think India had to react to that, and then they carried on, allowing the Khalistani people there to threaten the Indian diplomats, consular staffs, and asking the whatever people, the other faith who did not follow fully whatever this Mr. Pannu wanted them to do, that they should go back out of Canada. So I think these are kind of things which really made the community feel very insecure, the Indian consular and diplomatic staff feel very insecure, and so government had to take action. Now, what has happened now, it seems that there is some move. Is it because the government of India has taken action against the properties and assets of the Khalistani extremists who are ensconced in Canada? Is that the reason, or is that because the Canadian government has asked them to pipe down and not to hurt the relations between India and Canada? So I think we'll adjust to. So it's a good thing that you are saying that we have to watch how things are developing, because we would very much like that this G20 momentum should be carried on in future also. And if there's a kind of a minor blip on the screen, then perhaps one can see how best to sort it out, because we don't want India and Canada relations to go down the drain. But point is that Mr. Trudeau has done everything possible to spoil these relations. And what has happened for last 40 years, India has been asking for the Air India flight bombing culprits to be taken care of and to be given punishments. That has not happened.
Right.
And that is a very serious crime, under the ICAO and the regulations and the agreements at the international level for the safety and security of the aircraft. And now we have been passing on resolution after resolution, including in the UN Security Council, against terrorism. And Canada is not bothered about doing any of these things. In fact, they are blaming the Indian people to have taken out the terrorists in Canada, whereas they have been taking out what they call terrorists all over Asia, carrying out of NATO area operations in Asia, Middle East, all over the world. And they are trying to expand NATO to NATO plus in Asia. And they want India also to join it. Is this the reason? This is how they want India to join it? I'm not very sure what they really mean. The Canadians, I think, are out on a limb. Perhaps if they get the support of the other G20
but maybe it's
members,
nothing more than political compulsions, Mr. Shashank. I want to get Dean Baxendale on this. Mr. Baxendale, when it comes to, understanding what the entire Khalistani movement is, India still bears the scars of the Khalistani insurgency. How does the common Canadian look at, people like Jagmeet Singh and Hardeep Singh Nijjar when it comes to the entire Khalistani cause? And Justin Trudeau, clearly in a minority government with the NDP, he has those political compulsions. Do the Canadians look at the Khalistani movement as a peaceful movement of self-representation? Is that the impression that they have when it comes to the entire Khalistani struggle?
Well, first and foremost, thank you very much for having me on your show today. I think that, quite frankly, the issue around the Khalistan separatist movement and an understanding of that truly by the Canadian public has been well down on everybody's radar, so to speak. This issue obviously has highlighted something that's been going on, as mentioned just now by your guest, for over 40 years, where our Canadian government, CSIS, RCMP, ostensibly have monitored Khalistani separatists and terrorists stemming back to the Air India bombing. And we have done virtually nothing to stem murders that have taken place, in India or in other jurisdictions